Welcome to Chatty TV Junkie, where tonight we are talking about Bachelor in Paradise Part 2 from Tuesday, the 24th of August. You notice my view is a little different tonight. I'm trying to get closer to the microphone so that perhaps it's a little bit louder. So anyway, we're going to start out with the guest host. Everyone gathered and they were told to put a boombox on, and then a song came on. It was an NSYNC song, and in walks Lance Bass. He did an incredible job. They actually used him more than they did David Spade. So he sat down and talked to some of the girls about, what they were looking for and if they were willing to go on other dates with other guys, or if they were like with their relationships. And the girls were like, no, we're open to stuff. And then on one of the dates, he actually was right there on one of the dates as well. And I think he did a really good job. And I'm wondering if perhaps this guest hosting is to audition some of these people. I don't know. But I think Lance did a really good job, and I would actually love for him to be the host, either him or Wells. But so we'll see if he does a rose ceremony next week or not. Based on what happened on the last rose ceremony, it was Wells, and they may stick to that formula for the entire season, but we'll see. So last night, more men came because the girls have control. They did not have a rose ceremony. They won't have that until probably Monday night. But they did have some guys come in, and the first person that shows up is a bad boy. He's from Katie's season. It was none other than Thomas. Yes, Thomas showed up, and nobody was happy about it. The girls didn't really know a whole lot, but the guys did. And the guys that were also on Katie's season that are also there made sure they told all the other guys about it. And then, of course, it got to the girls about how, he's all about him and he's selfish and, so he was there for all the wrong reasons on Katie's season. So he comes in with a date card and he talks to a few of the girls, and he ends up asking Serena on a date. Now, Serena is currently paired up with Joe, grocery store Joe, who I love. And so they went on a date, and they went out on a boat that pulled them, like on a banana boat kind of thing. And at one point you saw them kissing, and then they went to the beach and had like a little picnic thing, and they were getting cozy. You saw him pulling her out of the water, carrying her, and you're thinking, oh, what's going on here? And then he starts talking about his season and what happened, and then they don't show you anything else. So the next time you see Serena, she shows up and it's nighttime. Joe has been waiting for her all day, trying to figure out what's been going on. He's having all these thoughts, thinking, if she comes back and she wants to be with this guy, then I think I'm just going to leave because I don't want to do this anymore. And so she comes back, sits down, and pulls Joe aside and says, can I talk to you? He says, of course. And she said, I only want to be with you. And then she went on to tell him that, some things came up and he's just not for her. And she wants to build on the relationship that they've already formed. They kissed, they cuddled, everything is well in their world. The next man that comes down to the beach is one who I'm not really sure whose season he's from. Okay, the guy that comes next is Riley. I didn't recognize Riley, but one of the girls, Taewon, said that she was waiting for just him to come down, and she was really excited. He also has a date card, so he took some of the girls aside, including Marissa, who has been with Connor, the singing guy. And it ends up that Taewon was not chosen for this date. Marissa was. So they go on this date, and Lance Bass is on this date with them. And basically it was a truth or dare. They either had to answer the question or they had to eat an array of really disgusting foods like tongue and tripe and all these really gross things. So there were two questions they did not answer, and one of them was, how many people have you slept with? I think they ate tongue. Ew. The other question that neither of them wanted to answer was your most embarrassing story, so they ended up eating tripe. After that, they ended up having a kiss, and Lance was really uncomfortable. He's like, should I stay? Should I go? What should I do? Those two are super hot for each other. They end up going back to paradise in the boom boom room, like after the first date. So we'll see what happens with Connor, because Connor's been making up songs and stuff and singing them to people, and at this point he has no idea that they came back. They kind of snuck in and ended up in that room, and they don't show you everything, of course, but you can figure stuff out. It was some room that they ended up in. I think it's the boom boom room. Anyway, so at least that's what I'm calling it. I don't know what they're calling it on this show. I think that's from Jersey Shore. That's another reality show. So anyway, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. I think Connor's going to be brokenhearted. They haven't been in paradise long enough, really. So, but I think Connor's going to be bummed. When Serena came back, she told the girls about Thomas speaking badly about Trey. So, of course, that got back to Trey, who then confronted Thomas after he had just gotten an apology from Thomas. And then Trey went back up to him and said, "You know what, dude? I heard what you did today, and I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Let's just stay away from each other, and I'm done with you, and I'm done." So that's how that went. I don't think that Thomas is going to stay around. I don't think anyone's going to choose him for the rose, but we shall see next week. The other big thing in couples that happened was Natasha decided that she's not getting good vibes from Brendan, and she confronted him and said, "I don't think I'm into this anymore." And he was like, "Oh, really?" And she's like, "Yeah." And they were like on one of those day beds. And he's like, "Do you want me to leave?" She goes, "Yeah, I do. I want you to leave." So he walked away. And so that couple's done. So it's going to be interesting to see if she picks up a new relationship in time for the rose ceremony, or if she just ends up being friends with someone. So that is Tuesday's episode of Bachelor in Paradise from August 24th. All right, well, the next time you'll see me will be a Big Brother video. And of course, we'll be back to talk about Bachelor in Paradise next week. So thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Give me a big thumbs up, and I will see you soon. Good night.